seen it.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio, or welcome back anyway. I'm Todd. Shannon's over there. This is Melody. And we've been talking about homelessness, not because we're experts, but because we're concerned about the legal ramifications. But before I get to that, I want to talk about legacy, because Marquardt Law Firm sponsors the show, and attorneys at Marquardt Law Firm focus on business and estate law. It's all about legacy. What's your legacy?
And now, it's time for the Talk Law Radio Legacy Spotlight. What's your legacy? Sponsored by Marquardt Law Firm.
Okay, so the reason I wasn't talking is because there's like a little bumper music for that.
Okay.
Just so you know, I'm not messing things up.
Did you glitch while we were concerned?
Right, I just totally spaced. Well, you have probably seen him in movies. Craig Castaldo, better known as Radio Man, plays a homeless person in a lot of popular movies, but he was actually homeless at one time, and he spent a lot of time in Penn Station. Then he found a job at a newsstand and eventually secured subsidized housing and somehow found his way into being in movies. And so I just wanted to recognize that that's sort of a great legacy. In my mind, is he found his way back into society, as I would say. I don't always know what to say, Melody. Sometimes I come off the wrong way. Shannon knows about all my problems with emotional intelligence, and of course my listeners do as well. But I just wanted to say something terrific about somebody's great legacy.
Yeah, good job.
And there's other famous people that have been homeless at one time or another. Denzel Washington, Tony Robbins.
Oh, wow.
And so he made it his mission to feed people. And so the more success he got, the more he would feed people. And so he really was passionate about that. Have you heard that, Melody?
I did not know that.
Oh, well, he's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Inspiring business owners and people.
Yeah, he's huge. Mm-hmm.
So back to the law. In this executive order that President Trump signed back in July 2025, he mentions that one of the root causes of homelessness is mental health issues. People that just aren't able to hold down a job or pay their bills because they have an illness. And so he wants to encourage cities to develop programs or facilities for people to receive mental health treatment there, rather than being on the street.
Okay.
And so what issues does that bring up?
Well, he's going to provide funding, or where's the money going to come from? From the city itself?
Well, I think that if you read between the lines, he's going to take federal resources from cities that allow drug users to use drugs on the streets. And so maybe some of those federal resources will be diverted to cities that have what he calls better programs.
Oh, okay. I hear you.
So
programs like that. Okay.
If somebody's having a mental health crisis and they're on the street,
mm-hmm.
then and they don't agree to any treatment program,
mm-hmm.
then how do you get them into the treatment program?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By something like a civil commitment, right?
Yeah. Right now, our laws don't allow, we have personal liberty. The Constitution says that you have liberty. It's a pretty basic tenet that runs throughout the the whole DNA of the way we were set up.
Right. You can't be jailed unless there's probable cause or reasonable suspicion. Or
right. Yeah, we're really into
something like
liberty
that.
in this country. So you can do that like a 72-hour hold.
With civil commitment.
A judge can approve that, or a guardianship. A guardianship is very restrictive, right? I'm sure you know all about that.
I do lots of guardianships, but the civil commitment is different.
Yeah.
You have to be a danger to yourself or to others. And somebody does have to convince a judge with facts that's actually the case, that harm is imminent.
Right. And it is certainly not permanent. I mean, if we wanted to do this, if we wanted to just bulldoze over everybody's civil liberties and the Constitution, yeah, we could have done this a while ago. I mean, everybody knows families that are struggling with this, where they have a family member where they're like, oh, we'd really want to get Uncle Joe into treatment, but he won't, I mean, people have died in this city, because it'll get cold enough where people can freeze overnight, and you can't force them. You can't force our brothers and sisters. You can't, they have rights. And if that's the way that they choose to live, then our Constitution says you have the liberty to do that.
But Melody, what are the problems with allowing people to live wherever they want?
Oh gosh. Well, it's unsafe for them. That is a problem. I mean, the language coming from our president has been that we're going to keep the streets safe, like we're going to keep the citizens safe from these people experiencing homelessness. But people experiencing homelessness are like 10 times more likely to be victims of crimes themselves. So allowing people to live out, and allowing isn't even the right word, but the fact that people live on the streets is unsafe for them, for one. Like you said, it might hinder businesses depending on where they are. There are plenty of problems.
That's a good point. Do you hear a lot of us versus them language in
it's funny you
philosophy?
Should say that,
Well, yeah.
Shannon, because for the Sinners and Saints segment, I asked Grok, the AI for X, Twitter, for the name of a notoriously bad homeless person.
Okay.
And I felt some backlash from that. It basically said I was being insensitive. And that stereotyping the homeless as bad was not the right way to go about it.
Oh.
And so I took my shame and
and
walked
rephrased.
away. But I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's part of your compassion coming through.
Well, you all have the same mindset as well. It doesn't have to be, a fight. Let's figure this out together.
I'm all for individual freedom and rights, but I also don't want an encampment in front of my business. So it's not there yet, thank God.
Yeah.
But
it could be.
If it's allowed to, if people have free reign to live wherever they want, I mean, you probably saw images of what was going on in San Francisco.
Well, it's happening here in San Antonio. There's businesses here that are really struggling because unhoused people are all around them.
So, Melody, did you have anything that you wanted to say about the potential civil commitment for mental health reasons?
It bothers me for the reason that you said. I mean, at our core, we are a country that believes in liberty, and I think that a lot of people will accept help. I think they want help, but there will be some who choose not to, and that they have every right to choose that, I believe. So that's just my view on that.
I just can't help but wondering, we have all these resources, and maybe it's not enough, but the city of San Antonio does a very good job at hyping up Haven for Hope. Like, we built this grandiose structure. I think it's 22 acres. And I also read that there's room for 1,600 people. I don't know if we have more than 1,600 who are living on the streets.
Is that I don't know a whole lot about Haven for Hope. Can people stay there long term, or is it just an overnight facility?
They have different levels.
Okay.
And I'm not an expert either. Shannon, do you know any facts about Haven for Hope and the way it works?
They have like a tier system. They have the courtyard where it's what you were talking about, how it's kind of not really very safe to be unsheltered. So at least they have like safety and protection. But I don't think they even have air conditioning in the summer, or they have some heaters set up in the winter and then fans for the summer. But you're basically outside. And then to get in, you have to give up all your possessions because they can't have material coming in because it might have lice on it or some kind of something. So you have to basically give up everything to get in. They have a really strict security policy to get even into the courtyard. And then if you can get in and they screen you and you seem like you could move up the tier, they do have transitional housing where you actually could get an apartment. But
So those are some things that are barriers to entry. You know, people,
Oh, lots, yeah.
if somebody told me
Right.
something like that, I would be upset.
Yeah, your last
know.
possessions that you have in the earth, well, they're not
Well,
coming
even if it
in.
wasn't my last possession, I would still be upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have to wrap up the show. So,
Oh.
Shannon, I was hoping that you would say something encouraging about what you've been working on recently.
I'm very excited that the Through Project Gala is coming up on September 27th. Very, very excited about that. It should be a lot of fun, and tickets are on sale, and they have it up on their website, THRU. They are doing amazing, amazing work in our community.
Okay, Melody, I want to give you one of the last words.
Okay.
What kind of encouragement can you give people like me that sort of want to have the living room cleaned up?
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have a clean house. I think that there's just no simple solution to this, and a lot more conversation should be had. Conversations like this. We need to ask more questions and always lead with compassion, because remember that these people are suffering, and they have needs, and as leaders, we're called to assess and meet those needs.
Amen. Well, we have to end the show, so thank you for joining us. Shannon, thank you as well.
Thank you for talking about this. This is really important. You did a great job, Todd.
Awesome. We'll talk to you later.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.